Post-trade deadline with the general manager of the Utah Jazz, Justin Zanik, on Roundball Roundup on UtahJazz.com. Justin, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thanks for having me, JP.
So what's the screen time looking during trade?
Oh, wow. I think I actually turned it off over the last couple weeks.
Probably deserved.
Yeah. What's interesting about the deadline, everyone, the transactions happen, fast and furious over the last couple days, right? But a lot of those discussions, so I don't remember how many trades were done, but I know 19 teams did a trade or 20 over the last 2 days. So there were that's probably only 10% of what was discussed across the league. So if there's, 25 trades, there's probably 250 that were discussed in some level.
So we could have seen even more second rounders.
A lot of second rounders.
Yeah, a lot. I think I'm worth this.
A lot of second rounders.
It is quite the difficult position to reshape teams, build teams, and Mike Conley, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Malik Beasley, Jared Vanderbilt are in this trade. What can you say to their contributions to the Jazz and what they've meant to the organization?
Sure. Let's start with Mike first. Longest tenured one that we made a decision to make the deal we did. I mean, Mike is is one of the most special people I have ever had the pleasure of working with around in 25 years as an agent and as an executive. He brought every bit of that here to the Jazz. He's a winner. He's an unbelievable person, mentor, veteran, and his contribution to Minnesota he will help them very, very much. We had a lot of good times here with Mike here and a lot of success, and I wish him nothing but the best. He can still play at a high level for a long time whenever he wants. So these things, and I'll get into Malik and Jared and Nickeil in a second, but this is what make those relationships, and when you meet special people, Malik and Jared and Nickeil are as well in their own way, makes these types of decisions really hard. But from an organization standpoint, this is the most appropriate and best thing that we needed to do for the organization as we open up a championship window. Malik Beasley's high level of shooting, his personality, he came here, bought in immediately. I think we were able to help him as well. I know he liked it here a lot, and so that made it hard. Jared Vanderbilt's energy and ability with the crowd and our success that we had in the first half of the season, he was crucial to it. So having those two guys go to the Lakers and help them on a playoff push, they'll be in meaningful situations. And Nickeil, I think, just such a great kid and such a hard worker, and he got demonstrably better this year in terms of his shooting percentages, continuing to work with the ball in his hand, making decisions, his ability to guard. It was hard, that was another one that was hard to be in the trade, but we needed it to make it work. He was I think he has a bright future in the league, and I think Minnesota's got somebody there that can guard the ball and make good decisions in his shots, and his shooting percentages are up a ton. So I think it'll be a good place for him.
Mentioning how much those guys contribute to winning, how difficult of a decision is it to make that decision to make the trade?
Yeah, it's like I said, it's hard, on a personal level, and I know you're referring on a professional level. I think, what we started here this year with Coach was the ability to build a culture, show that it's going to be built around hard work, playing the right way. Mike, Jared, Malik, and Nickeil were integral to that. We also had some challenges this year where the roster that we had going in the season was not quite balanced. So we had a lot of a lot of guards that I think Will has actually done an outstanding job given the circumstances of sprinkling in minutes for guys, whether it's Nikhil or was with Nikhil or Taylor Horton-Tucker, Colin Sexton, Ochai. So now, what we wanted to accomplish by the end of this year, results agnostic, was to come out knowing what each player kind of is going forward. And these last 26 games will give us an opportunity to maybe learn way more about the players that have been more intermittent minutes, like Taylor Horton-Tucker or Colin Sexton in a bigger role, or Ochai in a bigger role, or Simone Fontecchio getting consistent minutes, seeing where our centers, integrating Juan Toscano-Anderson and Damian Jones, giving them an opportunity. I'm really proud of Udoka with him being healthy all year this year, so him getting an opportunity too, so that at the end of the season we kind of know a lot more about those guys.
How intentional is it that your office is right across from Will Hardy's?
Absolutely.
So that you guys are talking every single day?
Absolutely intentional.
What are those conversations now that you have Juan Toscano-Anderson available, Damian Jones, and then Russell Westbrook, because he's a Hall of Fame player, deserves his own question. So first those two.
I mean, it's just been a partnership from day one with Will. So, that's with Ryan, with Danny, with me, with Will, all of us together. The best thing about Will is he's not about himself. He's about what's the best for the organization, what's best for the team. And we wanted to provide him a foundation that he could, build his voice as a first-time head coach. So it's just been a daily conversation. I talk to him every day about what's going on that day, or different things that are, possibly on the horizon, whether it's trade deadline or, it's, this person's hurt and how are we going to do this? So, he's got full reign to play who he needs to play. He's the head coach of the Utah Jazz. That's his expertise. My job is to partner with him and Danny and Ryan and try to put the best roster on the floor that can not only get better, but then eventually over a time period open up a championship window.
Russell Westbrook, he's been a part of championship windows. He's a former MVP. What are the conversations with him? I'm sure Jazz fans are knowing up in the air, but what is his collaboration with this team?
Sure. I mean, first of all, I know he can't be selected yet, but he's a Hall of Famer, even more so than the triple doubles and the MVP. Russell's had an unbelievable career, and was quite good this year as well. What I think is important, Russell and his agent, and Danny and myself, we've just had very open, transparent conversations so that he can get to know a little bit more, not only about us, but also where we are with our team building and the opportunity, what opportunities are available. And we also want to be very respectful of him and his desires to continue to play. So helping him, just a full transparent of just figuring what that looks like and giving him some time to figure that out. This is the first time in his career he said this to me, that being in this position. So he was very appreciative of Danny and I's conversation. He was also, we also, like I said, want to be very respectful of him. So we're just continuing to talk and figure it out and see what that looks like.
15 lightly protected or unprotected first-round picks till 2029. What are the balls in the air with that, having so many of those assets?
So I've said this before, but the possibility, that combined with the cap space and roster flexibility, just the possibilities are endless. So, we don't have all 15 this year. We have them spread out over 7 years. We have 3 right now in the first round coming up into 2023 draft. So we've been attacking that all year. And now that the deadline's passed, we have, another asset that we've added that, the quality of that asset collection is the best in the league and for a long period of time. So we've opened quite a window for us to continue to be flexible and opportunistic on any opportunities that come up with players that are available or moving up and down in the draft, this draft, next draft, the draft after that. So I don't ever want people to think of it as like a one-to-one thing. So you have a bunch of cap room. So then who are you going to spend it on? You have to spend it on now. It could be you acquire in an unbalanced contract trade. You can use those picks to maneuver in the draft or add them into a deal that nets you a player, that you think can really advance our club. And I think the progress that Coach has done with our roster, with Larry Markkinen now starting the All-Star game.
Huge. Deserved.
Huge. Very well deserved. So excited for him. And Walker Kessler having a good rookie season and showing development upside. Ochai, I think Coach has done an unbelievable job with him, just bringing him along. And then all of our young guards that we're going to try to get to know in a bigger role for them. All of these assets and cap space allow us to add to that and build from there.
Can I go with a dumb one to finish? What have the other ones been? Oh, yeah. Got me. Yeah. Smart list for me, straight up. Would you take that deal?
Smart. Oh, no, smart list every time. For you? No, I'd probably have to kick in a couple first. I don't think.
I'm a bad contract.
No, not a bad contract.
Justin Zanik.
You're not overpaid, so it can't be a bad contract.
General Manager of the Utah Jazz. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thanks, JP.